All right, one of the big winners today, Airbnb. At 3 a.m., the CEO tweeted out that the company is going to host up to 20,000 Afghan refugees. Now, the tweet getting a ton of social media exposure and a lot of good exposure too. But does that have any influence on the stock price? I mean, is doing a good thing a good business deal? Is that helping the stock among one of the biggest winners today? Joining me now, Market Group's Managing Director, Michelle Snyder, and Michael Lee, Strategies, Michael Lee. Michelle, listen, I know the reopening names in general are higher, but any of this move today with Airbnb, part of them just doing such a kind gesture?
Oh, absolutely. And it is a kind gesture. Of course, it's also a bit of a publicity-seeking notion. And they all looking for hosts to actually put these people up, host families, so it's not just coming from them. But nonetheless, it's sent the stock up 9%, which you can't sneeze at. It went through major technical resistance at 158.50. And I wouldn't be chasing it here, but if it can settle down and hold around that 157.50, 158.50, then just from a technical standpoint, given what's happened here, and it's nice to see something good come out of everything that's happened horribly in Afghanistan, I'd say the stock could still look good going forward.
Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, this is a good deed. I don't know that this has any fundamental impact on the stock. I have a general disdain for these woke technocrats, but I got to say this seems like something that actually is going to make a difference and do some good versus a lot of the other nonsense that I'd say they engage in.
All right. Hey, I got to show a headline now. It was on Market Watch last year. It's just one of many stories, in fact, that we're vilifying corporations for years of stock buybacks. In fact, for a decade, corporations have bought $5.3 trillion in stock. And of course, that was they were trying to say it contributed to U.S. pandemic failures. Of course, since then, companies are buying back their stock. In fact, the buybacks are coming on strong. And I think it's an amazing thing. Occasionally, there's a disaster like an IBM. But Mike, I just don't know why so many folks on Wall Street I ask about these buybacks sort of bristle at the notion. If you're going to follow the money, why not follow the buyback money? I think you can make a lot of cash in the stock market. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, so Charles, what I'd say, you'd much rather see capital investment with excess cash from companies or even strategic investment to grow the companies. But what this is, it's a capital return to shareholders, and it's tax-free dividends. Okay, when you're buying back stock, you're not paying it out to shareholders at their individual tax rate. So a better way to think of it is a tax-free dividend. And yeah, when a company that hasn't previously bought back stock comes out and announces they're going to have a massive buyback, like one of our favorites, Target, you can follow them. That is a good sign for management. However, I do think I think the argument of capital investment versus a buyback, you'd rather see capital investment, but I'd much rather see a buyback than the cash just sitting there in the balance sheet.
I mean, Michelle, if we look at some of the most successful stocks out there, these trillion-dollar names, they have bought back so much stock. There's a crazy number with the Apple. I don't want to misspeak here, but some millions of dollars worth of stock every single day. And it just feels like if you just follow them, the Microsofts, the Apples, the Googles, buying back their stock, you could have ridden one heck of a wave.
Well, certainly having that tailwind doesn't hurt your position, but I'm kind of in Mike's camp there in that I like to look at companies on their own merit, not just for corporate buybacks. I like to look at their balance sheets. I like to look to whether or not they're in a megatrend. And of course, as you know, as a technical trader, I like to see what my risk reward looks like before I jump in. So, right. Yeah, I mean, it's like great when you wake up.
In other words, you like to do analysis.
Exactly.
I've got 90 seconds. Two questions real quick for you on that analysis. What do you like right here, Michelle? And then we got a question from Mike.
Well, it's too bad we didn't talk about 2 hours ago when I sent you my notes on AMC through 40, now that it's rocketed to 46. But also looking at small cap growth stocks, especially if IWM, the small caps themselves, can hold up. And I also, if the financials are a big part that have been underperforming here and they're a big part of IWM, I'm also looking maybe at the Citigroup stock, especially if it can get through 73 and hold 69.
We got you there. I got 30 seconds, Mike. I need your thoughts on crypto. By the way, kudos to you. When they were under pressure, you said stay the course. How far did it go in 20 seconds? A lot higher. That's what we want to hear. AMC, GameStop, crypto, to the moon. Michelle, Michael, thank you very much.